In a world where leadership often equates to authority and control, Brené Brown's Dare to Lead emerges as a refreshing manifesto that challenges conventional wisdom. With her signature blend of research and vulnerability, Brown invites us to reconsider what it truly means to lead. She argues that courage, empathy, and connection are the cornerstones of effective leadership, urging us to embrace our imperfections and foster genuine relationships within our teams. As we dive into the heart of her insights, we discover that true leadership transcends titles and accolades. It's about creating an environment where people feel safe to express their ideas and take risks. Brown's profound understanding of human behavior sheds light on the complexities of trust and resilience, offering practical tools to navigate the challenges leaders face today. Through compelling anecdotes and relatable experiences, Dare to Lead inspires a movement towards authenticity and transparency in leadership. It challenges us to step into our power, not by wielding authority, but by cultivating a culture of belonging and support. In this journey of self-discovery, Brown empowers us to lead with our hearts as much as our minds, setting the stage for transformative change in both our personal and professional lives. Introduction to Brené Brown and Dare to Lead. In the ever-evolving landscape of leadership, Brené Brown emerges as a beacon of insight and inspiration. A research professor at the University of Houston, Brown has dedicated her career to studying the intricacies of human emotions, particularly vulnerability, courage, empathy, and shame. Her TED Talk, The Power of Vulnerability, catapulted her into the spotlight, where she has since captivated millions with her ability to articulate complex emotional truths in a relatable manner. Brown's work transcends traditional leadership paradigms, urging leaders to embrace their vulnerabilities and foster authentic connections. Dare to Lead, her groundbreaking book released in 2018, distills years of research and personal experience into a powerful manifesto for modern leadership. At its core, the book challenges the conventional notion of leadership as a position of authority and control. Instead, Brown advocates for a model rooted in courage, where leaders are encouraged to show up as their true selves, acknowledge their imperfections, and cultivate a culture of trust within their teams. This shift in perspective is not merely a change in mindset. It is a call to action for leaders to embrace discomfort and vulnerability as essential components of effective leadership. Through a blend of storytelling, research findings, and actionable strategies, Dare to Lead equips readers with the tools necessary to foster a brave and inclusive workplace. Brown introduces the concept of whole hearts leadership, which emphasizes the importance of bringing one's authentic self to work and allowing others to do the same. She argues that vulnerability is not a weakness, but rather a strength that enables deeper connections, innovation, and resilience. By sharing her own experiences and the lessons learned from countless leaders, Brown invites readers on a journey of self-discovery and growth. In Dare to Lead, Brown covers essential topics such as building trust, navigating difficult conversations, and creating a culture of feedback. She provides a framework for leaders to engage in courageous conversations, emphasizing the importance of clarity, empathy, and accountability in fostering healthy relationships. The book also delves into the significance of emotional literacy and the necessity of understanding and managing emotions within the workplace. Ultimately, Dare to Lead is not just a guide for leaders. It is a manifesto for anyone seeking to create a more compassionate and effective organizational culture. Brené Brown's insights resonate deeply in an age where the demand for authentic leadership has never been greater. By daring to lead with vulnerability, empathy, and courage, readers are empowered to transform not only their own leadership styles, but also the environments in which they operate. In a world that often shies away from vulnerability, Dare to Lead stands as a clarion call to embrace our true selves and lead with heart. The importance of courageous leadership. Brown's insights challenge the traditional notions of leadership that often prioritize control and invulnerability. Instead, she advocates for leaders who are willing to take risks, confront difficult conversations, and show their authentic selves. This approach not only encourages innovation and creativity, but also helps build a more engaged and committed workforce. By fostering open dialogues and encouraging feedback, courageous leaders create an environment where team members feel safe to express their ideas, concerns, and aspirations. Moreover, the book delves into the importance of empathy and emotional intelligence in leadership. Brown explains that leaders who practice empathy can better understand and connect with their team members, leading to stronger relationships and a more cohesive work environment. This emotional connection is essential for navigating challenges and fostering a sense of belonging among employees, which in turn drives motivation and productivity. Ultimately, Dare to Lead serves as a powerful reminder that leadership is not just about making decisions or achieving results. It's about cultivating a culture where individuals feel valued and empowered. In a world that often celebrates bravado over vulnerability, Brown's call for courageous leadership is both refreshing and necessary. By daring to lead with authenticity, empathy, and courage, leaders can inspire others to do the same, creating a ripple effect that transforms organizations and communities alike. In embracing vulnerability, leaders not only enhance their own effectiveness, but also pave the way for a more compassionate and resilient future. Defining vulnerability in leadership. Brown emphasizes that vulnerability is integral to building trust and fostering a culture of innovation and creativity within organizations. When leaders embrace their own vulnerabilities, they create a safe space for their team members to do the same. This openness nurtures a sense of belonging, encouraging individuals to share their ideas and concerns without fear of judgment. The result is a collaborative environment where creativity flourishes and diverse perspectives are valued. Furthermore, Brown outlines the necessity of vulnerability in dealing with difficult conversations and conflicts. Leaders who can navigate these challenges with empathy and honesty are better equipped to inspire their teams and drive meaningful change. By modeling vulnerability, leaders can dismantle the armor of perfectionism and fear that often stifles authentic communication and connection. Brown also highlights the importance of setting boundaries and practicing self-care as a means of sustaining vulnerability. It's not about being weak, it's about recognizing one's limits and being honest about them. This creates a culture where individuals are encouraged to prioritize their mental and emotional well-being, leading to more resilient teams. Ultimately, Dare to Lead invites leaders to embrace their vulnerabilities as a pathway to authentic leadership. It's a call to action for those in positions of power to lead with heart, foster courageous conversations, and build inclusive environments where everyone can thrive. By redefining vulnerability, Brené Brown not only transforms how we view leadership, but also empowers individuals to step into their authentic selves, fostering a culture of courage and connection in every organization. The myths surrounding vulnerability. Brown dispels another common myth, that vulnerability is synonymous with oversharing. While some may fear that exposing their inner thoughts and feelings could lead to chaos or discomfort, Brown emphasizes that vulnerability is about being authentic and transparent in a way that builds connection, not chaos. It's about sharing what's important to you without divulging every intimate detail, thus maintaining professionalism while still allowing for genuine human connection. Furthermore, Brown highlights the misconception that vulnerability is a one-time act. Instead, she posits that it is a continuous journey, an ongoing practice of courage, empathy, and connection that leaders must embody consistently. This dynamic process not only enhances personal growth, but also positively impacts organizational culture by promoting psychological safety. When leaders model vulnerability, they set the stage for their teams to feel safe in taking risks, sharing ideas, and even admitting mistakes without fear of retribution. The myths surrounding vulnerability often lead to a culture of silence and fear, stifling creativity and innovation. In contrast, when leaders embrace vulnerability, they inspire courage in their teams. By daring to show their true selves, they invite others to do the same, resulting in a more engaged and motivated workforce. Brown's insights remind us that vulnerability is not a barrier to leadership. Rather, it is a powerful catalyst for connection, innovation, and lasting impact. In a world that often prioritizes perfection and invulnerability, Dare to Lead serves as a refreshing call to embrace our humanity and lead with courage. The role of trust in leadership. Brown introduces the concept of the braving inventory, a practical framework for understanding how trust is cultivated. Each letter in braving stands for critical elements: boundaries, reliability, accountability, vault, integrity, non-judgment, and generosity. By adhering to these principles, leaders can create an environment where team members feel safe to express their ideas, take risks, and ultimately innovate. Moreover, Brown emphasizes that leading with trust requires a shift in mindset. Leaders must be willing to embrace discomfort, engage in honest dialogue, and model the very vulnerability they wish to see in their teams. This approach not only fosters a culture of openness, but also encourages collaboration and resilience during challenging times. In summary, Dare to Lead serves as a powerful reminder that trust is not a passive attribute, but an active choice. Leaders who dare to be vulnerable and foster genuine connections inspire loyalty and commitment, paving the way for lasting success in their organizations. Brown's insights challenge leaders to reconsider their strategies and embrace authenticity as a cornerstone of effective leadership, ultimately transforming the way we think about leading in today's complex world. Understanding the 4 pillars of trust. The first pillar, boundaries, emphasizes the importance of setting clear limits to protect both personal and professional integrity. Brown argues that leaders must define what is acceptable and unacceptable behavior, as well as communicate their own boundaries to create a safe space for others. This clarity not only enhances trust, but also encourages accountability among team members. The second pillar, irreliability, speaks to the commitment to follow through on promises and commitments. Brown highlights that consistency in actions fosters a sense of security among team members. When leaders demonstrate reliability, they cultivate an environment where individuals feel valued and understood, which encourages them to reciprocate that trust. The third pillar, vault, refers to the need for confidentiality and the safeguarding of sensitive information. Brown stresses that leaders must be trustworthy custodians of the stories and experiences shared with them. This pillar reinforces the idea that vulnerability is a two-way street. When leaders respect the boundaries of others' stories, they encourage an atmosphere where individuals feel safe to share their own. Finally, the fourth pillar, integrity, embodies the principle of alignment between values and actions. Brown posits that leaders who consistently demonstrate integrity inspire their teams to act with authenticity and courage. This alignment not only builds trust, but also creates a culture where individuals feel empowered to bring their whole selves to work. In summary, Brené Brown's 4 pillars of trust provide a framework for leaders seeking to nurture a culture of trust and collaboration. By embodying boundaries, reliability, vault, and integrity, leaders can pave the way for a more engaged, innovative, and resilient workforce. Trust is not merely a nice-to-have, it is a crucial element that can enhance performance and foster a sense of belonging within any organization. Embracing these pillars can transform the way we lead and interact, ultimately shaping a brighter future for both leaders and their teams. The power of empathy in leadership. Empathetic leaders prioritize listening over simply responding. They engage in conversations with the intent to understand, rather than to react or defend their positions. Brown highlights that empathy is not merely about feeling for others. It's about stepping into their shoes, recognizing their struggles, and validating their experiences. This deep connection encourages collaboration and nurtures a culture of trust, where individuals feel valued and empowered. Moreover, Brown emphasizes that empathy is a skill that can be cultivated. It requires practice and a commitment to ongoing self-reflection. Leaders who exhibit empathy are better equipped to navigate conflicts, inspire loyalty, and motivate their teams. They create spaces where people are encouraged to take risks and share their ideas, ultimately leading to greater creativity and resilience within the organization. In summary, Dare to Lead champions the idea that empathy is not a weakness, but a powerful asset in leadership. Brené Brown urges leaders to dare greatly by embracing vulnerability and fostering empathetic connections. This approach not only enhances personal interactions, but also propels organizations toward greater success. By prioritizing empathy, leaders can cultivate a thriving workplace culture that champions collaboration, innovation, and authentic engagement, proving that the heart of effective leadership lies in the ability to connect deeply with others. How to build a culture of belonging. To build a culture of belonging, Brown highlights the necessity of vulnerability. Leaders must be willing to show their true selves, embracing imperfections and sharing their struggles. This openness not only humanizes leaders, but also encourages team members to do the same. When employees feel safe to express their thoughts and emotions without fear of judgment, it fosters trust and connection. Brown emphasizes that vulnerability is not a weakness. Rather, it is a strength that empowers collaboration and innovation. Moreover, Brown discusses the significance of empathy in creating a sense of belonging. Leaders should actively listen and validate the experiences of their team members. By practicing empathy, they can understand diverse perspectives and create an inclusive environment. This means recognizing and addressing systemic issues that may hinder belonging, such as bias and discrimination. Brown insists that leaders must take responsibility for their own biases and work towards dismantling barriers that prevent inclusivity. Another key aspect of building a culture of belonging is the importance of feedback. Brown encourages leaders to create a feedback-rich environment where constructive criticism is welcomed and seen as an opportunity for growth. This not only enhances individual performance, but also strengthens team dynamics. When employees know their voices are heard and valued, they are more likely to engage fully and contribute to the organization's success. Lastly, Brown emphasizes the power of storytelling in fostering belonging. Sharing personal stories can create a sense of shared experience and understanding among team members. It helps to bridge gaps and build connections, allowing individuals to see the commonalities that unite them, despite their differences. In summary, Dare to Lead offers a profound roadmap for leaders seeking to cultivate a culture of belonging. By embracing vulnerability, practicing empathy, encouraging feedback, and sharing stories, leaders can create an environment where everyone feels they truly belong. This not only enhances organizational performance, but also nurtures a community where individuals thrive. The connection between courage and fear. Brown emphasizes that fear is a natural human emotion, one that everyone experiences, especially in moments of vulnerability. She suggests that the key to cultivating courage lies in recognizing and embracing our fears rather than attempting to suppress or ignore them. When we allow ourselves to acknowledge our fears, we create a space for genuine courage to emerge. This process involves vulnerability, an idea that Brown champions throughout her work. By being open about our fears, we not only empower ourselves but also build connections with others, fostering a sense of community and support. Furthermore, Brown introduces the concept of rumbling, which refers to the process of engaging in courageous conversations about our fears and uncertainties. This practice is essential for leaders and teams alike, as it encourages open dialogue and a culture of trust. When leaders embrace vulnerability and model courageous behavior, they inspire their teams to do the same. This ripple effect is vital for fostering innovation and resilience in any organization. Ultimately, Dare to Lead serves as a powerful reminder that courage is not the absence of fear, but rather the willingness to face it head-on. Brown challenges readers to redefine their understanding of courage, urging them to see it as a skill that can be developed through practice and self-awareness. By embracing fear and vulnerability, we unlock the potential for authentic leadership and meaningful connections, paving the way for a more compassionate and courageous world. In this way, the connection between courage and fear becomes not just a theme of the book, but a fundamental principle underpinning effective leadership and personal growth. The value of feedback and accountability. Accountability, on the other hand, is about taking responsibility for our actions and decisions. Brown argues that true accountability is not about blaming others or deflecting criticism. Instead, it is about owning our mistakes and learning from them. By fostering an environment where accountability is valued, leaders can create a safe space for their teams to express concerns, share ideas, and take calculated risks without the fear of retribution. This, in turn, cultivates trust and strengthens relationships within the team. Moreover, Brown highlights the importance of creating a culture where feedback is not only encouraged, but also celebrated. She posits that when organizations prioritize open communication and constructive criticism, they empower employees to speak up and contribute to the collective success of the team. By normalizing feedback, teams can become more agile, innovative, and resilient in the face of challenges. Ultimately, Dare to Lead underscores that the value of feedback and accountability lies in their ability to enhance not just individual performance, but also the overall health of an organization. Brown's insights encourage leaders to embrace these practices as fundamental components of their leadership style, thereby fostering an environment where creativity and collaboration can thrive. When feedback and accountability are woven into the fabric of an organization, they become catalysts for growth, enabling teams to achieve their fullest potential and drive impactful change. This powerful combination equips leaders and their teams to dare greatly, not only in their professional endeavors but also in their personal journeys of self-discovery and development. In this way, Brown's work inspires us to embrace the challenges of leadership with courage, resilience, and a commitment to continuous improvement. The importance of clarity and communication. Brown argues that clarity is not just about being straightforward, it's about being intentional in how we communicate. Leaders should strive to articulate their vision and expectations clearly, ensuring that everyone is aligned and understands their roles. When leaders communicate with clarity, they reduce ambiguity, which often leads to misunderstandings and conflict. This clarity extends beyond verbal communication. It includes nonverbal cues, written messages, and the overall tone set within the team. Moreover, Brown highlights the importance of vulnerability in communication. By being open about their own uncertainties and challenges, leaders can create a safe space for others to do the same. This willingness to engage in difficult conversations fosters deeper connections and encourages innovation. Team members are more likely to share their ideas and take risks when they feel heard and valued. In summary, Dare to Lead underscores that clarity and communication are not merely skills, but foundational elements of courageous leadership. Leaders who embrace these principles not only enhance their effectiveness, but also inspire their teams to reach new heights. They create a ripple effect, where clear communication leads to improved collaboration, increased morale, and ultimately, greater success. Brown's insights serve as a powerful reminder that in the realm of leadership, the ability to communicate with clarity and compassion can truly transform organizations, paving the way for a culture of resilience and growth. A Leader's Guide. In her transformative book, Dare to Lead, Brené Brown invites us to redefine what it means to lead in a world that often prioritizes perfection over authenticity. At the heart of her message lies the powerful idea that true leadership is not about having all the answers or presenting a flawless image. Rather, it is about embracing our imperfections and vulnerabilities. Brown argues that leaders who dare to show their true selves create environments where creativity, trust, and innovation can flourish. Throughout the book, Brown emphasizes the importance of vulnerability as a strength rather than a weakness. She asserts that when leaders are willing to be open about their struggles, they not only humanize themselves but also inspire their teams to do the same. This culture of openness fosters a sense of belonging, where individuals feel safe to express their ideas and take risks without the fear of judgment. In this context, vulnerability becomes a powerful tool for connection and collaboration. Brown introduces the concept of courageous leadership, which requires us to confront our fears and insecurities head-on. She provides practical strategies for cultivating this courage, such as engaging in difficult conversations, practicing empathy, and embracing feedback. By doing so, leaders can create a more inclusive and resilient workplace, one where everyone feels valued and empowered to contribute their unique perspectives. Moreover, Dare to Lead challenges the traditional notion of success. Brown encourages leaders to focus on the journey rather than the destination, highlighting that growth often comes from navigating challenges and learning from failures. This shift in mindset allows individuals to see setbacks as opportunities for development rather than as reflections of their worth. Throughout the book, Brown's engaging storytelling and relatable anecdotes resonate deeply with readers. She combines research-backed insights with personal experiences, making her lessons both applicable and inspiring. By the end of the book, readers are left with a renewed sense of purpose and clarity about what it truly means to lead. In summary, Dare to Lead serves as a powerful reminder that embracing imperfection is not a sign of weakness, but rather a cornerstone of effective leadership. Brené Brown equips leaders with the tools to cultivate a culture of vulnerability, courage, and authenticity. By daring to lead with their whole hearts, leaders can create environments that not only drive success, but also foster genuine connections among their teams. In a world that often celebrates perfection, Brown's message is a refreshing call to action: to embrace our imperfections, empower others, and lead with courage. The role of shame in leadership dynamics. At the heart of her thesis is the idea that leaders who dare to embrace vulnerability create a culture of trust and resilience within their teams. Shame thrives in environments where fear and perfectionism reign, leading to disengagement, defensiveness, and a toxic atmosphere. However, when leaders model openness and authenticity, they encourage their teams to do the same, dismantling the walls that shame erects. Brown highlights the importance of recognizing shame triggers and understanding their origins. By fostering an awareness of these emotional responses, leaders can transform shame from a debilitating force into a tool for empathy and learning. This shift not only enhances individual well-being, but also cultivates a more innovative and collaborative workplace. Moreover, Brown introduces the concept of shame resilience, which involves developing the skills to navigate shame without being consumed by it. This resilience allows leaders to face difficult conversations and challenges with courage, ultimately leading to stronger relationships and a more cohesive team dynamic. Through compelling anecdotes and research-backed insights, Dare to Lead provides a roadmap for leaders seeking to create an inclusive environment where everyone feels valued and empowered. By understanding the role of shame in leadership dynamics, Brown encourages us to redefine what it means to lead, not as a position of authority, but as a commitment to vulnerability, empathy, and genuine connection. As leaders embrace this paradigm shift, they not only enhance their effectiveness, but also inspire their teams to strive for greatness, fostering a culture where innovation and collaboration can truly flourish. Strategies for navigating difficult conversations. Another vital strategy is to embrace vulnerability. Brown argues that being open about our fears and uncertainties can foster a more profound connection with others, paving the way for honest dialogue. This doesn't mean oversharing or losing professionalism. Rather, it's about creating an environment where people feel safe to express themselves without fear of judgment. By modeling vulnerability, leaders encourage their teams to do the same, leading to richer and more meaningful conversations. Furthermore, Brown emphasizes active listening as a cornerstone of effective communication. Leaders should not only hear, but genuinely seek to understand the perspectives of others. This involves asking open-ended questions, showing empathy, and reflecting on what has been said. By validating others' feelings and viewpoints, leaders can build trust and collaboration, turning challenging discussions into opportunities for growth and learning. Lastly, Brown highlights the significance of setting boundaries and maintaining respect during difficult conversations. It's crucial to navigate disagreements without resorting to personal attacks or defensiveness. By fostering a culture of respect, leaders can ensure that even the toughest conversations contribute to a positive and constructive team dynamic. Embracing these strategies, as laid out by Brené Brown, can empower leaders to tackle difficult conversations with confidence and grace, ultimately leading to stronger relationships and more resilient teams. The impact of values on leadership. Brown emphasizes that values serve as the compass for leaders, guiding their decisions and shaping their interactions with others. When leaders are clear about their values, they are more likely to lead authentically, inspiring their teams to do the same. This authenticity creates an environment where employees feel safe to express themselves, take risks, and innovate without the fear of judgment or failure. In contrast, leaders who lack a clear understanding of their values may find themselves leading from a place of fear or insecurity, ultimately stifling creativity and collaboration. Furthermore, Brown highlights the importance of aligning organizational values with individual values. When employees feel that their personal values resonate with those of the organization, they are more engaged and committed to their work. This alignment not only enhances individual performance, but also contributes to a cohesive organizational culture. Brown's research illustrates that organizations with strong, clearly articulated values tend to outperform their competitors, as they attract and retain talent that shares those values. Brown also addresses the challenges that arise when leaders must navigate difficult conversations or make tough decisions. In such moments, having a solid foundation of values can provide clarity and direction. Leaders who can articulate their values in the face of adversity are better equipped to rally their teams and maintain morale, even in challenging times. This resilience is a hallmark of courageous leadership, which Brown champions throughout her work. Ultimately, Dare to Lead encourages leaders to embrace vulnerability as a strength and to recognize that leading with values is a continuous journey. By fostering an environment where values are openly discussed and celebrated, leaders can cultivate a culture of inclusivity, empowerment, and accountability. In a world that often prioritizes results over relationships, Brené Brown's insights remind us that the true essence of leadership lies in the values we uphold and the example we set for others. In doing so, leaders not only inspire trust, but also create a lasting impact that extends beyond the workplace, shaping the lives of those they lead and the communities they serve. Leading with Whole Hearts. The book is structured around 4 pillars: courage, vulnerability, trust, and resilience. Brown insists that courage is not the absence of fear, but rather the willingness to confront it. She encourages leaders to embrace vulnerability, asserting that it is a strength, not a weakness. By sharing their own struggles, leaders can cultivate deeper connections with their teams, promoting a culture of openness and innovation. Trust, another critical element, is built through consistent actions, integrity, and accountability. Brown emphasizes that trust is not given, it is earned, and it requires a commitment to transparency and mutual respect. In this context, resilience becomes the ability to bounce back from setbacks and learn from failures, a necessary trait for both leaders and their teams. Ultimately, Leading with whole hearts is about creating a culture where individuals feel safe to express themselves, take risks, and engage in meaningful conversations. Brown's insights challenge traditional notions of leadership, urging us to redefine what it means to lead effectively in today's complex world. By daring to lead with our whole hearts, we not only enhance our own leadership potential, but also inspire others to do the same, paving the way for a more compassionate and innovative workplace. Through her engaging storytelling and practical advice, Brené Brown invites us all to embrace our vulnerabilities and lead with authenticity, courage, and heart. The importance of self-care for leaders. Leaders often face immense pressures and expectations, leading them to neglect their own well-being. However, Brown reminds us that a leader's effectiveness is directly tied to their emotional and mental health. When leaders prioritize self-care, they cultivate resilience, clarity, and the emotional intelligence necessary for fostering strong teams. Brown highlights that self-care practices, such as setting boundaries, engaging in reflective practices, and embracing rest, are essential for sustaining energy and focus. Moreover, self-care enhances a leader's capacity for empathy, allowing them to connect more deeply with their teams. By nurturing their own needs, leaders can model healthy behaviors and create a culture that values well-being. This cultural shift not only improves individual performance, but also enhances team dynamics, fostering an environment where creativity and collaboration can flourish. Brown also addresses the stigma surrounding self-care, particularly within leadership roles. Many leaders fear that prioritizing their own needs may be perceived as weakness. Yet she argues that true strength lies in acknowledging one's limitations and seeking support. By embracing self-care, leaders can break this cycle of self-neglect and inspire others to do the same. In conclusion, Dare to Lead serves as a powerful reminder that self-care is not a luxury, but a necessity for effective leadership. By investing in their own well-being, leaders not only enhance their capabilities but also create a more compassionate and productive workplace. As Brown eloquently states, when leaders dare to care for themselves, they empower others to do the same, leading to a more resilient and engaged organizational culture. Creating a safe space for team members. Creating such an environment begins with leaders modeling vulnerability themselves. When leaders admit their shortcomings and share their struggles, they pave the way for others to do the same. This authenticity not only builds trust, but also cultivates a culture where feedback is seen as a tool for growth rather than criticism. Brown points out that when team members feel safe, they are more likely to take risks, innovate, and collaborate effectively, leading to greater overall success. Moreover, Brown underscores the significance of establishing clear boundaries and expectations. A safe space does not mean a lack of accountability. Instead, it involves setting standards that promote respect and support. Leaders must actively listen and respond with empathy, ensuring that all voices are heard and valued. This inclusivity strengthens the team's cohesion and empowers members to contribute fully. Ultimately, Dare to Lead invites us to rethink our approach to leadership, urging us to prioritize emotional safety as a vital component of team dynamics. By cultivating an environment where individuals feel seen, heard, and accepted, leaders can unlock their team's full potential, fostering not just productivity, but also a deep sense of belonging. In this way, creating a safe space becomes a transformative practice that enriches both the individual and the collective journey toward achieving shared goals. The role of storytelling in leadership. Brown highlights that storytelling fosters vulnerability, an essential ingredient for authentic leadership. When leaders share their own stories, complete with struggles, failures, and triumphs, they humanize themselves, breaking down barriers and encouraging openness among team members. This vulnerability creates a safe space for others to share their own stories, fostering a culture of empathy and mutual support. In this environment, individuals feel empowered to express their ideas, take risks, and collaborate more effectively, ultimately driving innovation and growth. Furthermore, storytelling is a powerful tool for instilling values and shaping organizational culture. Brown explains that leaders who articulate their values through stories can inspire their teams to align with a shared mission. These narratives not only clarify expectations, but also motivate individuals to embody those values in their daily actions. By weaving values into compelling stories, leaders can create a sense of belonging and purpose that enhances engagement and commitment. In a world where information is abundant but attention is scarce, storytelling stands out as a means of capturing hearts and minds. Brown underscores that the most impactful leaders are those who can connect emotionally with their audience, making their messages memorable and actionable. Through storytelling, leaders can transcend the noise, fostering a deeper understanding of their goals while inspiring a collective movement towards achieving them. In essence, Brené Brown's insights in Dare to Lead illuminate the vital role of storytelling in leadership, showcasing it as a catalyst for connection, courage, and change. Building resilience as a leader. Resilience, as outlined in the book, is a practice that requires continuous effort. Leaders must engage in self-reflection and embrace discomfort, learning to navigate through failures and setbacks with grace. Brown introduces the concept of bravery over comfort, urging leaders to confront difficult conversations and make tough decisions even when the path ahead is unclear. By doing so, they model resilience for their teams, encouraging them to adopt a similar mindset. Moreover, Brown highlights the importance of understanding one's values and purpose, which serve as anchors during turbulent times. When leaders are grounded in their core beliefs, they can make decisions aligned with their vision, even amid chaos. This clarity not only inspires confidence in their teams, but also fosters a shared sense of purpose, enhancing collective resilience. Ultimately, Dare to Lead serves as a powerful reminder that resilience is not a solo endeavor. It thrives in an environment of collaboration and support. By prioritizing empathy, communication, and vulnerability, leaders create a resilient culture that can withstand challenges and emerge stronger on the other side. Through this journey, leaders not only grow personally, but also empower their teams to embrace resilience, fostering a workplace where everyone can thrive. Overcoming burnout and leadership fatigue. Burnout often stems from prolonged exposure to stress and a lack of emotional connection within the workplace. Leaders, overwhelmed by their responsibilities, may find themselves in a relentless cycle of exhaustion, which can cloud their judgment and stifle creativity. Brown emphasizes the importance of self-awareness and self-care as fundamental practices to combat this fatigue. By recognizing their limits and prioritizing mental well-being, leaders can reclaim their energy and passion for their work. The book encourages leaders to create a culture of openness, where team members feel safe to express their thoughts and emotions. This environment not only mitigates burnout, but also enhances collaboration and innovation. Brown introduces the concept of braving trust, highlighting the significance of vulnerability in building strong relationships among team members. By fostering trust, leaders can develop a supportive network that enables everyone to thrive, even in challenging times. Moreover, Brown provides practical strategies for leaders to implement in their organizations. She advocates for regular check-ins, encouraging leaders to ask their teams how they are feeling and what they need to succeed. This simple yet profound practice can significantly reduce feelings of isolation and burnout. Ultimately, Dare to Lead is a call to action for leaders to embrace their humanity. By acknowledging their struggles and being transparent about their challenges, they can inspire others to do the same. Through vulnerability, leaders can cultivate a resilient, empowered workforce ready to tackle the complexities of today's world. Brown's insights serve as a reminder that leadership is not about having all the answers, but about being brave enough to navigate the uncertainties together. The interplay of power and vulnerability. Throughout the book, she emphasizes that leaders who dare to be vulnerable foster environments of trust and openness. This, in turn, enables teams to thrive as individuals feel safe to express their ideas, take risks, and learn from failures. Brown's perspective challenges the traditional views of leadership, which often prioritize authority and control, suggesting instead that the most effective leaders are those who are willing to show their authentic selves, share their struggles, and admit when they don't have all the answers. Moreover, Brown delves into the critical importance of emotional intelligence in leadership. She illustrates how understanding one's own emotions and those of others can enhance decision-making, conflict resolution, and team dynamics. By acknowledging our vulnerabilities, we not only cultivate resilience within ourselves, but also empower those around us. This creates a ripple effect where individuals feel valued and heard, ultimately leading to heightened engagement and productivity. Dare to Lead is not just a guide for leaders in the workplace. It is a call to action for anyone looking to make a positive impact in their personal and professional lives. Brené Brown invites us to reconsider our relationship with power and vulnerability, encouraging us to embrace the discomfort that comes with being vulnerable. In doing so, we unlock the potential for greater empathy, creativity, and connection, qualities that are essential for effective leadership in today's complex world. Through her engaging narrative, Brown inspires us to dare greatly, reminding us that it takes courage to lead with our whole hearts. A leadership perspective. At the heart of Brown's philosophy is the idea that true leadership is not about being infallible, but about cultivating an environment where people feel safe to fail, learn, and grow. She argues that vulnerability is not a weakness, but a strength that fosters connection, trust, and resilience within teams. When leaders model vulnerability, they create a culture where individuals are encouraged to take risks, share their ideas, and confront challenges without the fear of judgment or repercussion. Brown highlights that learning from failure involves a three-step process: recognizing the failure, reflecting on the experience, and applying the lessons learned to future endeavors. This process encourages leaders to look at failure not as a definitive end, but as a valuable learning opportunity. By sharing their own experiences of failure, leaders can inspire their teams to adopt a similar mindset, fostering a growth-oriented culture that prioritizes learning over perfection. Moreover, Dare to Lead emphasizes the importance of empathy in leadership. Brown asserts that understanding and connecting with team members on a human level is crucial for effective leadership. When leaders demonstrate empathy, they create a safe space for open dialogue, enabling team members to express their challenges and fears. This openness not only strengthens relationships, but also enhances collaboration and innovation. In conclusion, Brené Brown's Dare to Lead presents a compelling case for redefining failure within the leadership context. By embracing vulnerability, fostering a culture of learning, and practicing empathy, leaders can transform their organizations into environments where individuals are empowered to take risks and learn from their mistakes. Ultimately, this approach not only enhances individual growth, but also drives collective success, proving that true leadership is about daring to lead with authenticity and courage. The influence of courageous leadership on organizational culture. Courageous leadership, as outlined by Brown, is not about being fearless. Rather, it's about acknowledging fears and managing them effectively. This authenticity sets a precedent for the entire organization, encouraging team members to cultivate their own courage. When leaders model vulnerability, they dismantle the walls of shame and judgment, paving the way for open communication and collaboration. The ripple effect of such leadership is significant. A culture rooted in courage nurtures creativity and resilience, allowing employees to thrive. Teams that feel psychologically safe are more likely to engage in constructive feedback, challenge the status quo, and support one another, ultimately leading to higher performance and job satisfaction. Brown's work also emphasizes the importance of empathy and connection in leadership. By prioritizing these values, leaders can build trust and foster a sense of belonging within their teams. This not only enhances individual well-being, but also strengthens the collective spirit of the organization. Dare to Lead serves as a powerful reminder that the heart of effective leadership lies in the courage to be vulnerable, creating a culture where everyone can flourish. The importance of continuous learning and growth. Brown highlights that continuous learning isn't just a personal endeavor, it's a collective one. Leaders must cultivate a culture that prioritizes learning, where feedback is not only welcomed, but actively sought out, and where individuals are encouraged to challenge the status quo. She underscores the importance of curiosity and the willingness to ask questions, suggesting that effective leaders approach every situation with an open mind, eager to understand different perspectives and gather new insights. Moreover, Brown champions the idea that growth often comes from discomfort. She notes that navigating difficult conversations and facing challenges head-on can lead to profound insights and personal development. It's through these experiences that leaders develop resilience and the ability to inspire others. By fostering a commitment to continuous learning and growth, leaders can empower their teams to innovate, collaborate, and thrive, ultimately driving the organization toward success. In essence, Brown's work serves as a powerful reminder that the journey of leadership is one of perpetual evolution, where the willingness to learn is as crucial as the ability to lead. Real-life examples of courageous leaders. Another powerful illustration is the story of a school principal who faced overwhelming challenges in a low-income area. Rather than adopting a top-down approach, she engaged with students, teachers, and parents, creating an inclusive environment where everyone felt heard and valued. By prioritizing empathy and open dialogue, she transformed the school's culture, leading to improved academic performance and stronger community ties. Brown also highlights the story of a nurse leader during the COVID-19 pandemic, who bravely advocated for her staff's mental health needs amidst overwhelming pressure. She organized support groups and insisted on mental health days, demonstrating that true leadership is not just about making tough decisions, but also about caring for the well-being of others. These examples illustrate that courageous leadership is rooted in the willingness to be vulnerable, to listen, and to engage authentically with those we lead. Through these narratives, Brown emphasizes that leaders who dare to embrace their own imperfections can inspire others to do the same, creating a culture of trust and innovation that drives success. The future of leadership. With Brené Brown's principles. As we navigate the complexities of the modern workplace, the insights gleaned from Brené Brown's Dare to Lead are more relevant than ever. At its core, the book challenges conventional leadership paradigms that often prioritize authority and control over empathy and vulnerability. Brown's principles advocate for a leadership style rooted in courage, connection, and authenticity. By embracing these values, leaders can foster an environment where innovation thrives, and team members feel empowered to share their ideas and concerns without fear of judgment. One of the most compelling aspects of Brown's approach is her emphasis on vulnerability as a strength rather than a weakness. In a world that often equates leadership with infallibility, her assertion that being vulnerable, showing our true selves, our fears, and our uncertainties, can actually enhance our effectiveness as leaders is revolutionary. This radical shift not only humanizes leadership but also cultivates trust within teams. When leaders model vulnerability, they create a safe space for their employees to express themselves, ultimately leading to deeper connections and stronger collaboration. Moreover, the principles of empathy and accountability that Brown champions are crucial in today's diverse work environments. Leaders who practice empathy are better equipped to understand the unique experiences and challenges faced by their team members, enabling them to respond with compassion and support. This, in turn, can lead to increased morale and a more engaged workforce. Accountability, on the other hand, ensures that all members of the team, leaders included, take responsibility for their actions and decisions, fostering a culture of trust and integrity. As we look ahead, the future of leadership will likely be shaped by these very principles. Organizations that prioritize emotional intelligence, authenticity, and a commitment to personal growth will not only survive, but thrive in an ever-evolving landscape. The leaders of tomorrow will be those who dare to lean into discomfort, embrace vulnerability, and recognize the power of connection. By doing so, they will not just drive results, but also inspire their teams to reach new heights. In conclusion, Brené Brown's Dare to Lead offers a transformative vision for leadership that aligns with the needs of a changing workforce. By embedding her principles into our leadership practices, we can create organizations that are not only more productive, but also more compassionate and inclusive. The journey toward courageous leadership is challenging, but with Brown's insights as our guide, it is one that promises profound rewards for leaders, teams, and organizations alike. Embracing this journey is not just a choice, it is an imperative for the future.